Hi, my name is Mark Johnson with iCEV, and we're super excited that you're joining us today for the iCEV Health Science Teacher User Panel. We're really lucky today to have two teachers, one from South Carolina, one from Oklahoma, joining us today. They've got some great thoughts and ideas, and we're going to go through some questions with them for this workshop. But first, I want to just kind of go around the room and have each one of them introduce themselves, and I'll start with you, Ms. Cottom.
Hi, I'm Polly Cottom, and I teach health careers in Northwest Oklahoma at High Plains Technology Center, and I'm happy to be here.
How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching, this will be my 23rd year.
Exciting. And if I remember, you are a nurse, correct?
Correct, yes.
That's exciting. Ms. Tice?
Hi, I'm Melissa Tice, and I am from South Carolina. I teach at Dorchester County Career and Technology Center, and this will be my 5th year teaching, and I am also a nurse.
So that's great. We're going to have a lot of new health science teachers viewing the workshop. So hearing from industry professionals that are in the classroom today is really exciting, I know, for them and for us as well. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Our first question is, how do you specifically utilize iCEV with the courses that you're teaching? Ms. Tice, I'll start with you.
I use it in my veterinary medicine class, and my students really enjoy using the program. It's really user-friendly. So like I said, for the veterinary medicine class that I teach, they just come in and get their iPads and their packet, and they just get started with their work.
So you guys are one-to-one?
Yes.
How does it work with your iPads?
It works really good. Like we haven't had any problems. They're able to do the little videos and the PowerPoints that come with the program. They can view those easily and answer the questions. And then also with the certification exam, they're able to take it on the iPad as well.
Oh, awesome. So you're doing certifications. That's exciting. Ms. Cottom, how do you use iCEV with your courses?
We mainly use it for anatomy and physiology, but I have also used the vet course as well. That's one of our career majors, and it's nice because we have the license through you guys that gives us the options to use, all of the different courses that you all have available, and we don't necessarily use every one every year. The anatomy is the one that we always use every year, but sometimes we need some additional courses, and it's been real easy to add those on for the students as they need them. And I'm anticipating next year, if anything happens with having to go virtual, that I'm probably going to be using it even more than I had before.
With some additional courses. That's great. Yeah, having access to the entire library of courses in your content area does give you some flexibility. And I think it's interesting that we have two nurses, health science teachers, and it's becoming more and more prevalent that you're teaching some of the vet medical applications courses. So I think that's really neat, especially with your experience. I think that's a great opportunity for the students. Next question is, what is your favorite feature of iCEV? And Ms. Cottom, I'll start with you.
Well, I love the fact that it keeps the grades. That is wonderful. And so it makes my job a lot easier. I mean, the most important thing is that the curriculum is good, and I get great feedback from my students. And so it's like Christmas, it does everything. It's great curriculum, but then it keeps the grades as the students are going along and keeps their progression.
Yeah, classroom teachers are being asked to do more and more administrative type things as a teacher. So having those graded, time-stamped, dated, and put in your grade book's probably pretty nice.
Absolutely.
Ms. Tice, what is your favorite feature?
I think I would have to agree with Ms. Cottom because it is very, like I said earlier, it's really user friendly for the students. So it's easy for them to just get on and get started with their work and follow along with the curriculum. But then it is really nice that it keeps track with their grades and I don't have to go back and ask the students what they made on a quiz or a test. I can just pull it up on my own computer and see where they are and see how much they have left to do in the class. But yeah, it's just really user friendly and it's easy for us as a teacher to keep up with the students and their grades. So I do like that.
Do either one of you utilize Google Classroom?
I do.
We're in the process of launching a new feature where you're going to be able to take all of the assets with a click of a button and move those into Google Classroom. And from a grading perspective, it will load the grades into your Google Classroom gradebook, but also pass those back into the iCEV gradebook. So just as we look at some distance learning or hybrid models, hopefully that will help you as well. So you'll see that being launched here in the next couple of weeks. So I did want to share that.
That'll be nice.
We're getting ready to move towards changing over to that in the next year or two. So I'm very excited to have that feature.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad. Next question, what is one strategy that you've kind of developed or that you can think of that has really worked well in your classroom or with your students? Can you share that with us? And I'll start with you, Ms. Cotton.
Something that my students really like for me to do is that I can go in and actually print hard copies of information if they want it. And you know, some students love having everything on the online format, but some of my older adult students like to have hard copies of things. And so I can do that for them uh, if they wish to. And my students generally do like me to do that with some of the features. I don't print everything, but the things that they want to use, particularly there's like activity sheets that they can fill out as they're going through the curriculum, and they really like me to print those for them. And so
That's great. There's a lot of different learning styles out there. So hopefully it's versatile enough to fit all of those.
right.
Ms. Tice, how about you?
Again, the same thing. My students are high school students, but a lot of them that I've had that have done the veterinary medicine, they like the hard copies and they can just, it's like a fill in the blank kind of worksheet with the notes. So they go along with the PowerPoint and they can fill it in. And then that way they have it to study. But then there's also the animal diagrams for the anatomy lessons that they have in there. So they enjoy those and they can just fill it out as they go through the lessons. And they like I said, they like having the hard copies. So it's nice that I can see where they are so I know what lessons to print out for them. So they have a couple ahead of time. And then that way they can just continue to work and they don't have to wait on me to do anything. So,
Great.
I like that we can print out the PowerPoint also. But for the most part, I just print out the worksheets for them.
Sure, it helps with note taking, especially those that are looking to go on maybe to a community college. It helps them with that note taking feature.
Keep them a little organized.
We all need that.
Yeah.
Next question would be what advice you might have. I know we're going to have some newer teachers attending the workshop. We'll also have some folks that aren't familiar with iCEV. So what advice would you have for any new users to iCEV? And I'll start with you, Ms. Tice.
I think that it's worth giving it a shot. Like I said, it's very easy to use. There are so many options with iCEV that like for the different classes and programs. And I think the students really do enjoy using it, and it's easy to use. And I think it's easy for a new teacher to come in. I've only been using it for 2 years, and just in those 2 years, I have really enjoyed using this program. And it has been a success in my class, so why not keep using it if we know that it works for the students? So
That's
I like it.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Cotton?
Yeah, I would echo what Ms. Ty says. Coming in as a new teacher, it's overwhelming sometimes because there's so many choices out there. And I'm not the most tech savvy person on the planet. And so stuff like this is a little fearful for me in the beginning, but it is not, it is user friendly. Absolutely. Don't be afraid. And you know, the people that work at iCEV are so helpful. I mean, I've always gotten help when I've needed it. And my students pick this up so quickly. I hardly have to do anything. I mean, really, even if I don't necessarily understand all the ins and outs of it, they figure it out really fast. And so it is a very easy teaching tool that I promise you're going to love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Your students today are some of the best tech support that you have for any of your online items you're using. So that's exciting. Last question, we'll wrap it up with tips and tricks. I know you've got a unique classroom. Every classroom's a little bit different. All of your students are a little bit different. So if you could share a tip or a trick that might help a new user or even an experienced user of something they haven't thought of. If you can share something like that with us, that would be great. And then I'll start with you, Ms. Cotton.
I'm not sure I can necessarily pinpoint a tip or trick, but my program is very complex because I have a lot of different career majors. And so in general, the self-paced, you know, capabilities of curriculum like this will make your job so much easier. So self-paced curriculum that's online, especially right now, when we don't know if we're going to actually get to be in the classroom or get to, you know, actually be with our students, you can't go wrong with any self-paced curriculum that is online, and they can do it anywhere. Your high school students could do this waiting in the stands between ball games. You know what I mean? That's the great feature of it. So anyway, that would be all I could think of in that, for that question.
Yeah, that's great. Ms. Tice, any tips or tricks?
I think the same thing, because my students have told me before that they've done it on their phones. Like when they're out with their parents or something, they're like, I just got on my phone and did a little lesson. And I was like, oh, that is fantastic. So you can pretty much use it on any device. And yeah, like in this time when we don't know if we're going to be face-to-face or virtual completely, it is nice that we have this option, and it is 100% virtual, and you don't have to print out the worksheets unless the student wants to, which it is a nice feature. But yeah, like I teach EMS, patient care technician, and the veterinary medicine, and my vet students get blended in with my either EMS class or my patient care technician class. So when they can just come in and everybody can get on an iPad and get started on their work, and I don't have to necessarily help them 100% of the time, but I'm there if they do have questions. It is nice to have that where they can do it on their own and they don't necessarily need me. So they could do it from home if we had to do 100% virtual for this upcoming school year.
Absolutely. That I think we're going to see a lot of those hybrid classroom options here for the next several months. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I think it's a good opportunity for teachers. And I know that all of the folks that are attending the workshop have really benefited from your insight, your thoughts. We certainly appreciate you guys sharing this with us. It helps us tremendously, but most importantly, teachers sharing ideas with teachers is what really makes a difference. And it helps everybody kind of reach today's student, which is a little bit different. They've got a different background, and they have all of their core subject areas that they receive traditionally a textbook in, and for them to come out to a CTE course, they're probably not all that thrilled with having to sit down with another book. So hopefully iCEV is an option for you, not only to evolve what that learning looks like, but to help out in the blended, the hybrid, or the distance learning piece. So at this time, we will end the workshop. We'll start our Q&A live at the conference. So if you can join us, that would be awesome to answer some questions. But most importantly, we do want to say thank you very much for taking your time. We know you're busy, and we certainly appreciate it. So have a super day.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.